Yeah.
Let's begin, I suppose.
Yeah.
Hello.
Here we go.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Movie Explosion. Today, we have what was your new phrase about the two movies?
What?
You just said it. It was really good. You said like they made a new word about talking about two movies.
Conglomerate.
It was awesome. No. It's like,
multi-movie.
We'll talk about this movie and that movie, and like it's a double or it's a
double feature.
No.
I don't think that I coined it though. I feel like I stole it and just.
Oh.
It's a turn of phrase.
Oh, a turn of phrase. Hey, yeah. So we saw two films. One was Solarbabies. And the other is Color Out of Space.
From a distant star, a powerful force will come to Earth. They call this force Bodai.
Where's the sphere?
They took it to the Protectorate Aqua Bunker. It's where they control the water. Jason, they're gonna destroy it.
If we go, we're not coming back.
We're gonna get Bodai.
It's unanimous. We go.
And my picture today is when you tell me there's a movie called Solarbabies, this is what pops in my head.
Nothing popped into my head when I heard Solarbabies.
And
it was just a blank slate.
Well, if it's not this, it's like babies, actual babies, and like they get something from the sun, like it describes like them and
yeah, I mean maybe Solarbabies would be like, you know, a tween band, a girly group. It's like the Spice Girls, but like even younger than when they were the Spice Girls,
or like a K-pop band or something.
Yes, K-pop for sure. Yeah. They give you like a platform. They give you, you know, the opening title crawl. Like this is the stuff. We're gonna throw a little bit of mythos at you. And you're going to be like, oh, I wonder if the mythos is going to be true. Is this a prophecy? And no shit, Sherlock. Right off the rip it starts. And it's like, there wasn't even really like a first act of just them living in this world and sort of exploring that and building on that. It was like, no, we're going to have an opening scene and then just jump right fucking ass first into this.
It's like, it should be like 20 minutes into the movie, but it's 1 minute into the movie.
Yeah, it was immediate.
You have no idea, this whole movie, you have no idea like what kind of world you're living in. As soon as you get sort of an idea, they go somewhere else and they find someone else. And you go, what's this? Like, I don't know, it's another person. It's another group of people. And that's it. It's like the whole movie. And then it keeps going till it's over.
Yeah. Well, it was like the principal warden guy did like the opening narration where he's like, it's the new age, the 55th decade or whatever.
They drained the ponds and the streams, covered the lakes, and even the ocean, so no water could evaporate into the air. They caused the drought, so they can control our lives.
And there's this New World Order kind of thing, the Protectorate, whatever, everyone Protectorate, or some kind of crap.
They can't mention the E-cops,
police.
But they don't explain, like if they do it, I don't remember. If they do it, say it in the crawl, it's so much, like, I need like an hour to study that.
The world is run by people that control the water. The water is kept away somewhere. Everybody else works for, you know, is basically enslaved by this thing. And they're saying, okay, these kids are taken as like, you know, they're stolen from their parents. You know, their parents are probably people out there like in the wild, like tribes or terrorists, quotes. And they kidnap these kids and they put them in these brainwashing camps these schools, these orphanages, whatever the hell they want to call them.
Are they brainwashing, or are they just like taking
Oh,
care of them
absolutely.
in a prison type like way? Like,
No, they're
prisoner type
brainwashing
way?
them.
Okay.
So there's a scene. So like they're always skating around. Like their
are.
whole kid society is like, hey, we really love roller skating. This is like our jam.
Yeah.
We do our sports and roller skates. We hang out.
That's
in
where
roller
we get the
skates.
name
We don't do
Solar
dances
Babies
at our school.
Their
Yeah, they don't
skateball
do their
team.
dances.
They have a skateball team. That's the sport they play. It's kind of like lacrosse mixed with roller skating, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
And it's called skateball. There's a poster in one of the scenes, and their team name is the Solar Babies.
Yeah. And they're like, hey, why are you guys the Solar Babies? Like, that seems like kind of a pussy name. And like the E principal guy, who's, you know, he's a good guy. In the opening narration, he's like, hey, I run this orphanage.
I don't like what I do.
Orphanage. I'm not happy about this, but it's like, I kind of have to. Like, they're making me do this, otherwise they're going to kill me.
Yeah.
Or do plastic surgery on me or something like that. Like, that was one of the fears.
Oh,
like,
it was
they're
like
gonna operate
physical. Yeah, it was like
on me.
physical.
Reconstruction surgery.
How would you like to see the flesh fall away from your body?
I owed my life. I never saw a spear.
Never.
No! 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 No!
Like, their whole society is built on fear and
Yeah.
controlling your water. And it's like, we're not going to give you water if you don't do what we say. We're going to put you in these work camps if you don't do what we say. We're going to deform you if you don't do what we say, blah, blah, blah. And it's pretty nuts. But yeah, like the whole, like the propaganda camp that they're in, like there's like, they get called for, I don't know, like skate fun time or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, it's the second call for like skate fun time. Like, we got to go down there. You know, we're going to get in trouble. So, skating is something that they want to do. And they go down there, they're skating around, having fun, palling around, except for the one guy who's like a dick, and he like keeps assaulting her, and he gets his ass kicked, which is fine. But the whole time that they're skating around, up on the walls, they have all these like screens, like that old Mac commercial.
Yeah.
Where it's like, blah, 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 1984. And they're just like showing like footage of like cops, like pointing their guns at them,
Yes.
or beating up like air quotes terrorists, aka their parents, and just like, even when they're doing like their fun time, they're constantly having like propaganda thrown at them, like brainwashing.
And then one of the Slytherin teams, they're like, the police are like, hey,
That's a good way of putting it.
it is. They're like,
Because they
Slytherin-y.
definitely received like favoritism from the bad guy.
Yeah, definitely. Like, he was like your Draco Malfoy type character, even with the blonde hair and everything. He's like, hey, you know, you shouldn't be here. You get in trouble. We give you all the advantages, and you still do this stuff. And then later on in the movie, the Draco Malfoy guy, he is like a lieutenant in this whatever police army.
I mean, was he, or was he like some kind of like, I don't know, Nazi youth or something?
Oh, maybe, yeah. I'm okay, maybe not lieutenant, but like he was with the police when they go on their random search to like places. Honestly, I don't remember each place. I might, as I think about it, but like they go to these places and people are there and they do stuff. I don't know why or how.
I think there was like 3 different ones. It was like the first one that they went to was like the naive American one, where like the ugly guy is just like banging all these chicks, and then there's like an old guy sitting in like a weird chair.
Yeah, it's
like dementia.
It's a Native American-esque, like, you know, quote unquote spiritual place where everyone is like,
they're just screwing.
Where everyone, they know about nature, they're in touch with things.
Yeah.
There's a message in here somewhere, and I don't know what it is because they jump from message to message. I don't know. But there is a blue
Message
orb.
is, the world is a better place for skaters if everything is paved.
Yeah, I noticed that too. It's like,
Pave
you're in
the
the
world.
desert. There is a lot of flat cement that for you to skate on. That's very helpful to you. Like, come on. There's so much. There's no curbs. There's no, like, rocks in the
They're
way.
in
It's
caves
just,
and they're paved.
yeah. And then, but why is skating such a thing? Like, I don't know that either. Like, I just see him skating all the time. Like, but why is it so big? Like, does everyone
That's of
skate?
the 80s. Yeah.
I know, but why in the movie though?
Because it's, you know, built-in audience of people that like to skate.
Okay.
It's
Well,
like
Lucas, there's lots of
Christianity.
actors in this movie. Lucas Haas, who's been in many things since then. He's the young boy. Through something, we find out there's a spirit or something that he finds in this blue orb, and it had a name.
Bodai.
His name's Bodai.
It creates like all these like miracles and shit, and like the thing could like even break apart into like atomic level and like float around and like do weird shit. It never talks or anything. It's like if you touch it, it's like you can understand its thoughts.
Well, yeah, it talks into your brain. You don't hear the sound.
Yeah. That would have been really cheesy.
That would have been. I'm glad they didn't do that. But there's another guy. He has like a hawk or an owl or something, and he's like watching, and he sees the Bodai thing, and he's helpful. Like he's an ally to them, I guess. But like,
well, he steals it at one point.
Yeah, but he's gonna bring it to like the people who need it the most, though.
Yeah,
he brings it to the quasi Native American camp, which is fine because I feel like they're gonna do the correct thing with it. The kid doesn't need it. What they're gonna do something to make it rain or something, you know. So the kid escapes.
Make it rain.
The kid escapes from the camp, and they go after the kid.
Yeah, he's trying to go after the ball. The ball called to him. Bodai calls to him.
His name's Bodai.
And I don't know what order these things happen in, but they go to like a Mad Max.
Well, she realizes that the kid is missing, and she's like, "Hey, we got to go after him." And then they put it to a vote, and they all unanimously say, "Hey, let's go get him." The nerdy guy is kind of a dick.
Yeah, he is kind of a dick, but they need him though for nerdy things.
Yeah.
He was later in Point Break, and he was in that movie. Everybody in this movie I recognized from another movie.
Yeah.
Like the main guy was in Lost Boys. The girl was in she's been in tons of things. So everyone's been in something. So everybody went off to do something else from this movie. They go to a Mad Max type trading town. Yeah. And I don't know when.
There's like crazy carny hookers.
Yeah.
And they're like, give me a couple quarter liters and we'll have fun for 2 hours. And this dude over here, he's like, what are we gonna do? What are you talking about? What are we gonna do?
Oh yeah, because they're very sheltered. What do you mean have fun? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Because they're solar babies.
She looked really dirty. She was like that Nazi biker chick in The Jerk.
There's so many little weird details in this world that are kind of cool, but you're hit with so many. It's like, whoa, wait. What's that? Doesn't matter. Here's another thing. Like, what's that? Like, I don't even know. Like, I can't remember all of them because there's so many things.
Yeah, they did continuously introduce new characters. Some of them kind of cycled in and out pretty quickly. But yeah, the whole thing, once they leave their youth camp or whatever, it becomes this sort of like journey kind of thing where it's like this saga or whatever. Yeah. And it's like, they're going from place to place. They go to one place, they sort of maybe accomplish a task, but then a new one comes up where it's like, oh, we got to do this thing now, and then we got to do this thing, blah, blah, blah. And now we're going to form new alliances, and other ones are going to be like, okay, this is a waste of time. But yeah, it's like it all is like coming to like a specific goal where it's like these people want their little ball. They want to start their own little, they're kind of debating about this the whole time, but in the end, they have this idea where they're going to form their own home because the ball can provide water and it can do anything that it wants. Yeah. And then at the same time, like the main bad guy, he's like, I got to destroy it. Because then I'll get like a whole bunch of credit from the higher ups and blah, 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 instead of just turning it over. And other people are being dicks and other people are being kind of cool. I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot of stuff.
It's a lot. Watching this movie was like, and I think I texted you this, I think. It's like if you fall asleep on the couch next to someone who's going through the TV channels, watching a bunch of random stuff, and your brain takes it all in and turns it into a story. They go to a cave. One guy finds an old beer.
Yeah.
Because it's, who knows how long it's been sitting there. And they see
He like shakes the crap out of it first and opens it and sprays everybody with it, which is like ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a picture of a guy in a cave, and they show like the girl has a little mark on her hand of the same guy on the. But like I don't remember seeing that before. It's like, oh, this is a new thing you're telling us right now.
Yes, maybe that was jarring. That was a little bit weird. Maybe they never even show like a glance at it.
Yeah, it's like, oh, by the way,
yeah,
this person has this, and that's on this wall. It's like, okay, who's that? And they go there eventually.
Yeah, this was, you know what? Now that you say that, this did feel like By the Way, the movie.
Yeah. Yes.
And
by the way, this is here.
Yeah.
Like, I'm Mr. Tops, the movie.
Who the hell are you? They call me Mr. Tops.
Oh. Fuck. Damn it. I hate Mr. Tops.
They have a glacier.
Just like in the desert in a cave.
Yeah, I don't know how the glacier got there.
Yeah.
But they have a glacier. They must have all this water. And nobody knows where this place is.
It's like, how did we even get here? They had to like jump across like a broken bridge to get there.
Oh yeah, the bridge.
Like,
I remember that. But yeah, the running from the police and the bounty hunters, and they do like in Speed where like the bus has to go over the bridge. Speed. And like we'll go across. And, like this guy, he like I saw it coming too because they were swinging each other around with roller skates. Like with their hands and like launching each other across the bridge. I'm like, well, the last guy's fucked, right? What's he gonna do?
Yeah.
But he goes really fast, and he makes it across the bridge. It's like that shouldn't have happened, but whatever. Hey.
Yeah. It was really far. I mean, it was ridiculous.
It was really
there's
far.
no effing way that any of them would have made that. Like the first guy that went, like he.
And then there's these bad guys, the e-police people. They have a machine. I don't know what the machine does, but it's very futuristic looking. And
talking about the Terminex?
Gentlemen, this is Terminac. He's a multi-capable masterpiece. He can squeeze the color from a ruby or deftly pluck the eye from a living bird.
But they get the ball thing, and they put the ball in the middle, and they try to like drill into it to get the bow tie thing out. Well, I kept drilling at it. I almost felt bad for this ball because I didn't know what was going on, and I had to attach to something because they were like drilling into it, and it was turning like all dark and like had cracks in it, and you hear it like crying. It was messed up, like, and yeah, I know. And the kid gets it eventually, like, oh, I know you, and what the fuck even happened?
Yeah. What did they got in there? This dude like pole vaulted over a fence and like electrocuted some guys, and then they were like, "Hey, we gotta get the ball," and they like beat up
they have a little
guard,
secret mission to get in there. That's right.
Yeah,
they go in over to get it, and they save the ball.
Yeah, it was like Dune meets Quantum of Solace meets Star Wars, because they definitely shot on that same road that like R2-D2 was like rolling down on Tatooine. It looked like it. That was what I was thinking.
I believe you. I saw that shot. No, they were in. I read an interview because I learned that Mel Brooks produced this. Like, get the fuck out of here! And so I saw an interview where he was like, you know, you have this like $8 million movie, whatever. Sure, I'll produce it. Like he said, sure. What the hell? Okay. And they kept asking for more money. One day they blew through like $5 million in like a week. It's like, what are you guys doing over there? And he went over there and he yelled at everybody, like, get your shit together, finish this movie. He went bankrupt.
Yeah.
And he's like, this movie has some good scenes and some just garbage in it. I don't know what they're doing. they were in Spain, as that's where I was going. I think they went to Spain to do this, so they're gonna go to Spain to make a movie. And then I don't know. I guess he wrote the producers after some experience producing. There's a line in that says, "Never put your own money into a picture," and that's what he learned from this movie. And then at the end, at some point, there's water everywhere.
Yeah, like a big dam explodes and like the whole world is flooded or something. Like, damn, like how?
Yeah, well, the ball does it. Bodai does it.
Yeah, well, I mean, the lady, Ursa's hands get caught on fire and she gets electrocuted. And there's like this chain reaction of just like shit blowing up inside the dam, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. This
double feature has dams in it. They both have a dam and places getting flooded.
Oh yeah, they both have dams.
You realize that?
That's right, yes.
That's our conjoining feature.
That and stuff happens. We don't know why.
Yeah.
How? But then it ends. And you go, I see what happened, but like I'm missing something. No, they join hands. Wait, don't they send the ball like doesn't go into space and they join hands and like the blue stuff like runs through them? It's like a scene. They all join.
They did the hands thing a couple of times. Yeah, the ball exploded into particles and formed a sphere around them, and it flew up. The kid waved, and then he did like this awkward like quarter turn towards her, and they put their hands together, and they did the lightning thing between their hands, and they're like, "We're cool." And then the credits started, and then they ran into the ocean and splish splashed around like in their vision.
Okay. So our other movie we saw is a new-ish Nicolas Cage movie, which these movies are either interesting or just stupid. Like this one, Color Out of Space, is pretty good.
Ward, come here for a sec.
Oh God. What are you doing?
Who's talking to you?
A man in the well.
It's in the static, it's in the moisture. It's in here, is out there. And what's out there is in here now.
Everything's under control.
Why are you so in denial? That ding from the meteorite changes everything around it.
It's just the color.
Do you believe me now?
I don't know what I believe anymore.
There's some H.P. Lovecraft. Is that the color?
That's the monster with the color.
Is that a monster? I thought that was just like a structure.
I thought it was a monster. See his little horns? And he's sitting on the throne like Thanos.
No, I think that was like stone. I think that was it was like a construction.
Well,
they were like, it looks like the girl's forehead.
Well, they kept flashing it on the screen when all the shit was going down. Little horns there.
Oh.
I don't know. This is my new background for Color Out of Space.
The color out of space. Boogity-boo.
This movie is... It is a lot, but
yes,
it's entertaining to watch and it's well put together.
Yeah.
A asteroid lands in Nicolas Cage's yard.
Yeah.
And lightning starts to hit it. Like it attracts lightning.
Yeah.
And then it's this color starts coming out in the air.
Dude, you're like in the middle of the second act right now.
Am I?
Yeah, you just like blitzed.
Did I? Okay.
Like the first like 30 minutes.
Where do I need to be?
Well, there's the opening title crawl.
Yeah.
There's the opening crawl of exposition that comes from our water surveyor.
Oh yeah, our water surveyor.
Yeah.
I forgot about that guy because he's pointless.
Yeah. He sucked. And then there was the girl with her horse, and she looks like she's in olden Renaissance times, and she's doing a weird ritual.
Right. And I thought that it was like back in olden times. Like, okay, this story starts and we flash forward.
But no, our narrator shows up in like regular modern
he just walked into the woods to get to this house, and he's a hydrologist, which is really important to remember because he's asked to do many jobs that have nothing to do with water.
This movie / book is set on the family farm, and it's this happy family that lives on this farm, and they're there because they choose to be. They're not farmers. This guy back here screaming with blood flying all over the place, he's not a farmer.
Well, isn't it because the wife has cancer and they need to get away, right?
She's still like some kind of evil Wall Street lady on her computer with her AirPods.
Oh, she tries. Yeah, they have an attic office, and she's like, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell.
Yeah. Opposing clients.
Yeah, it was her clients. And she's on the computer in this attic trying to be what she was, which is an interesting character, you know? That she's trying to be what she was, and then her husband's like, it's been 6 months since the surgery, you know? She's like, I don't feel... I don't feel like this is...
Like, I don't feel attractive.
And it's like, oh, okay, this is an interesting thing. And he's like, oh, but I do find you attractive. You know, and he's trying his best to be like... Confidence. He's trying his best to be like, I want to try to snap her out of this and move her in the right direction. And everybody means well, you know? These people...
Yeah, there's a little bit of like family banter. You know, the older brother and sister kind of like tease each other a little bit, like call each other names, but it's never really like malicious. Like they seem like this happy, goody little family, you know. When they're at the table, there is like this brief moment where the daughter is like, why the fuck did you buy alpacas? Like you can't eat alpacas. Because he's talking about, like, we're gonna eat alpacas next year. And he's like, no. She's like, no, dude, they make sweaters out of them. And he like stops for a second and he gets like this little like quiet moment. It's a little bit awkward. And then he's like, we talked about this. They're like the animal of the future. But it's like, dude, what were you holding back there? Like, you looked really frustrated and angry.
Holy shit. Holy shit. They should have been put back in the barn hours ago. You haven't even fed them yet, have you?
Dad, I tried, but...
What do you mean, you tried? Do you have any idea how much those animals cost us? They are alpacas. Alpacas.
Yeah.
But as we see, like, the movie goes, like, when shit starts to kick off, this meteorite, which we shouldn't just glaze over, like, that whole meteorite crash scene, because it's pretty amazing.
It is,
but it's like,
right.
You notice that their attitudes and their behavior start to change.
Yeah, whenever they're focused on, they get really focused on. Like, the wife's really focused on her calls. He's really focused on the alpacas. The daughter's really focused on her, like, well, she's a practicing Wiccan person.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, it's hard to tell if she knows what she's talking about, or is she just overdramatic teenager. It's really, like, I don't know.
She has a lot of books, you know, and she has, like, her little mortar and pestle that she sleeps with, like, literally. And so she is, like, you know, she's got all these crazy shit, like, hanging up in the woods, like, freaking Barbie legs, like, in weird formations and shit like that, hanging from trees. Like, she's totally... They're isolated, you know, they're used to being in the city. The daughter resents kind of living out there in the woods. I don't like living here. I feel confined, you know, and weird. The brother just likes getting stoned with the old man that's squatting in the woods, which is cool.
They have a wood squatter.
And
that guy's really lucky that they're cool about that.
Yeah, yes. But yeah, they're like, you know, Nick Cage is trying to wiggle on top of, you know, the wife. And shit goes down. You start to see this crazy color. Boom.
Isn't that when the asteroid lands then?
Yeah. You see like this light in the sky and this weird like halo around it as it's like approaching, or maybe it's like a wormhole's opening or something. Like, who the fuck knows? This is H.P. Lovecraft. We don't know what the fuck. And I don't
have no idea. I don't know enough about that story, that author.
But like as it's like approaching, people start getting weird. Like the brother, he's like playing around on his computer, looking at like Space Engine and listening to weird trippy music and just kind of being a stoner. The sister's asleep. The little tiny brother is like getting scared, and the pterodactyl stuffy that's like hanging from the ceiling. I'm like, oh god, that thing's wobbling because they're like upstairs like banging. That's gonna be really traumatizing. No, that's not what it was. They hadn't even really started yet. They don't even notice this bright light, and then all of a sudden, crash. Shit goes down.
But it gets worse gradually. But the movie does a great job of like not showing what's happening, but this tension, like something's happening. What's with this color thing? Like it makes you really curious about it, and you can feel the tension with everybody without like just showing the thing, which is really good.
Yeah, it's sort of like it's hidden inside of this meteor that's like sitting in their yard now in like a crater, this little tiny meteor, and like, you know, he's like trying to describe this color. He's like, it's like pink, but actually, you know what? I don't know. It's weird. And then like the littlest brother is acting like a freaking weirdo. He's like laughing and whistling at like the well as if there's like something in there talking to him. The sister chick is like kind of hoeing it up a little bit, but not really. The parents start like snapping at the children in ways that they're like, wow, like what the fuck? I'm really sorry. I don't know what the hell that was. Like that was kind of weird. He starts talking in the vampire kiss voice, which the reason for them using the vampire kiss voice was earlier on, he does an impression of his father or his grandfather criticizing him for trying to be an artist, because it is like the family farm, he inherited it. Yeah. And so he does an impression of him, and you get like that weird fucked up fake accent. And I'm like, oh, there it is.
How could somebody misfile something? What could be easier? It's all alphabetical. You just put it in the right file, according to alphabetical order. You know, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. That's all you have to do.
After the meteor crashes, there's every few scenes he puts on the voice, and he's being kind of like, what the fuck is your deal, man? Like, you're being a dick right now. And it's like he is becoming, you know, his father. And like the mom, she has like this issue of being sort of like disfigured or whatever by like her cancer and her surgery and everything. And then, you know, I think that there was like elements of like the postpartum depression kind of thing, because something really fucked up happens regarding the mom and the youngest child, Jack.
Oh, yeah.
They get like struck by lightning as they're hugging, and then all of a sudden they're like melted and fused together. It's like really fucking gross. Well, they start to get into like the Cronenberg shit.
Well, the barn, they're sitting from the barn or someplace, and that blue shit comes out of the color comes out of the whatever's building, and it just zaps them, and they're just fucked up, like melding of two bodies, and like the skin is all crazy, and they're like and it's ugh. And that happens to the alpacas. And like
Jack is like fused to her back, and he starts getting younger. Yeah, it happens to like a bunch of different things. The alpacas, the sheriff, and like some hillbilly find like a mass of like skinless animals in the woods. And it's like every single kind of animal is like fused together in like this lump in the bed of this guy's truck. And it's like, how did you even get that in there? And why would you try? Yeah. And they keep asking our water boy about it. It's like, dude, is he a radiologist?
Even talking about the movie. I forgot, like, in our discussion, I forgot he was there. The hydrologist...
He's supposed to be our B story. He, like, disappears for, like, a good 30 minutes.
Yeah, he shows up, and he's, like, kind of, like, talks with the teenage daughter. She could be 20s, early 20s. I don't know, but, like...
No, they're all kids.
Okay.
They're all kids.
Well, anyways, they have some sort of connection. I don't know if that's right or wrong, because I'm not sure of her age exactly. But depending on her age, it's right or it's wrong. Anyways, so he's just there, and like he's investigating all this stuff, but like when they find the animal mush in the guy's truck, like, come look at this. Like, why would a hydrologist know anything about what you're talking about? Like, let's look at the soil.
Looks like radiation burns, and they look all scared.
And you look at the soil, it's like maybe there's a connection between soil and water. But like, I feel like you're just asking this guy because he's a scientist and you don't know who else to talk to.
Yeah, they're just a bunch of hicks over there in Arkham County. Like, they don't know anything about anything. They're like, we're going to build a dam. The mayor wants a dam built because we're going to make a whole bunch of money. It's like a hydroelectric dam. And so that was why he was there to begin with, because he's surveying the water. I don't understand why it matters the quality of the water for a hydroelectric dam, but whatever.
Yeah, there's no reason for him to be there.
Yeah, I mean, the water is kind of fucked up. Like, the hippy dippy guy in the wood, he keeps offering people Java, but that's just his way of saying, like, here's some brown water.
Also, I mean, the color is in the water because it's in everything. It's in it's in people, it's in water, so it's spread throughout everything now. So yeah, the water's fucked up.
The trees started to become like animated, where they're kind of like moving even when there's no wind, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And like, there's one point where like grabs a guy and like squishes him to death, and it's like, dude, okay, this is awesome. I love this.
Yeah.
And things start getting really pretty. Like, the grass gets pretty. They get like weird flowers growing everywhere. It starts kind of looking a little bit like Annihilation or something, where there's like at one point there's like a weird shimmer, and then
it's a very subtle,
just like really fucked up shit.
Yeah, like, it's fucked up. It's very subtle though. It's not like a crazy monster. Just like little movements. It's like, what was that? That's weird.
Yeah. The whole time it's like, we don't really understand precisely what's happening, and that's kind of the point. It's like supposed to be beyond like the grasp of like human minds, and they do, like, for the whole movie, they do try to kind of label things and understand stuff, where like the hydrologist is like, the water is fucked up, like that's why things are weird, like this is why your wife was like zonked out and cut off her fingers.
That's all he can understand though, is the water's fucked up. Like, there's a purpose
because that's his field.
Yeah
That's his area of expertise. But like, everything that's happening is beyond what anybody has ever seen. It's like, show a caveman a YouTube video on your cell phone. They're gonna be like, what the fuck is wrong with your hand right now?
Yeah, it's not like a normal like alien invasion movie where it's like, that's a humanoid looking thing and you zap them, pew pew pew, and it's gone. Or it wins, or you lose, whatever. It's just like, they're here, they did a thing, like lots of people are hurt. Like, one kid I thought it was cool. The hydrologist comes up to Nicolas Cage. He's like, where's this person? Like, we're all here, but he's looking at no one, and he's crazy. Like, but our other son, he lives in the well now, ha 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 ha, because he fell inside the well, and like the color pulled him in. And then I don't know, like, what happens when, like, do you just die? Because do you go there?
Yeah.
Is it
well, there were definitely deaths.
Well, I got to thinking, is this, since we're the cavemen looking at the cell phone in this story, is this like a purple, the color taking you to a better place, and we're just terrified of it? We don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying?
No. It's definitely not a better place. But a few of them were taken to another place.
Well, but the daughter was, and I don't know if it's connected with her witchcraft or not.
Yeah, like, the whole witchcraft thing. So I thought that was going to have more of a play into like the greater story, but I feel like for her, the witchcraft thing was like the same level as like the brother playing Space Engine and smoking pot.
Or the hydrology guy. Every had their way of understanding the world. And none of these ways work to understand the color.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all right.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, like the whole thing with like the fourth, and who's that dude from like a few decades ago that used to do all the used to do all like the space shit and the math stuff?
Oh, Carl
Sagan.
Yeah.
Watch Carl Sagan talking about the fourth dimension. The whole thing will make a lot more sense, or less, because I don't think it really is supposed to make sense. But there's a YouTube video of like an old show where he talks about like, the third dimension interacting with the second dimension, and the second dimension's like, what the fuck? Like, where did you just come from? And he's like, well, I just came from like above you. And he's like, there is no above. Like, that's what sort of like this Cronenberg shit happening in this H.P. Lovecraft is sort of like the fourth dimension is so far beyond time and space. It's at a whole other level where it's like, I came from, there's not even a word for it.
Hello, says the three-dimensional creature.
How are you? I am a visitor from the third dimension. Well, the poor square looks around his closed house, sees no one there, and what's more, has witnessed a greeting coming from his insides, a voice from within. He surely is getting a little worried about his sanity.
I guess the movie and the book put this label on it of calling it the color. Because, like, what else do you call it?
And Solarbabies, they had that blue orb thing that could do whatever. Where's it from? I don't know. But they made it comfortable that it communicated with people. And it did something for a story, not just like, oh, I visited a bunch of these cavemen in my like helicopter and they didn't know what to think about it. And I left. And there's a big, like, I don't know, explosion of it, or like it reaches the peak of like the craziness. Nicolas Cage is shooting lots of things and people, and and you think, who's gonna be the hero of our story, because because like, oh, they're dead, okay, he's dead, she's dead, they're dead, like, whoa, wait a minute. And it's really fucked up things, like when there's the mom son like combination creature. It like starts to get legs, and it's like, oh, it's gross, and it starts like
it's just clapping around
people.
The attic.
It's just like.
But she didn't actually like hurt the daughter. Like she was just kind of like hovering over her, like in this like creepy, threatening posture, kind of drooling on her.
Yeah.
But she had plenty of time to hurt her.
She did.
And then Nick Cage just kind of walks in the room. The sheriff is just like paralyzed with just like, what the fuck am I seeing? He doesn't even know how to react. He's like squishing himself as far in the corner as he possibly can because he's utterly terrified.
Yeah.
And then Nick Cage like walks in the room and just blows it away.
Well, at this point, he's learned something because he's involved with the color now. So it's like, oh yeah, this is one of these things. It's this point, like, you haven't caught up to me yet, but this is messed up, and it's just, that's not my wife anymore.
But does he? It's like, is he even seeing it as like this creature? It's like in this scene, I think he was he Nick Cage, or was he like his father kind of thing, where he like walks in, blows it away. It's like, that's not my family, because his family's in the living room.
Yeah.
They're still downstairs, like hanging out and watching TV with him while he's like drinking. Well, I think this is like, I guess, Lovecraft or whatever. I mean, I've never read it, but, I've heard people say it's like, well, when Lovecraft is describing something, doesn't go into like brutal detail. He wants you to kind of fill it in with whatever the fucked up imagination that you have is. And I don't think that Lovecraft or Lovecraftian things, or this movie even, which they do a really good job of kind of, I feel like they succeed at this, is that it's not really meant to be understood. It's meant to be talked about.
Yeah, I can see that. It kind of ends itself, or at least leaves. It leaves, right?
Well, it doesn't totally leave, because it's like, when he's hanging out on top of the dam with his weird new clothes and smoking a J, even though he doesn't smoke pot, but he suddenly does. Ooh, I wonder what that was, because he's hanging out with the hippie guy and now he's smoking pot. I don't know, whatever. Maybe they fused, blah. But yeah, you get like a little bit of like a weird color in the sky, and it's like, oh, is it still there?
In the town, they pull out, and like, there's no color left in the town. Like this big radius around where the well is, or wherever it came out of. I think it was the well, and it's big radius, and it's just like everything's dead there.
Yeah.
And then
just ash.
Yeah. Then the hydrologist on top of the dam. So they built.
Yeah, time passed. They built the dam. The farm flooded.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh, I thought he was going to flood the farm with a dam.
Yeah.
Why did the farm flood?
Because it was below the new water line. So the dam was built after the bulk of the movie took place. That's why the mayor was being such a bitch to him when she showed up at the house to look at the meteor. She's like, you should have sold this place to me, because she's like, she resents him because it's like, this could have meant like a lot of money for like me or for the town or whatever, to build this hydroelectric dam in our town, but you won't sell me your land, so that means I can't build the dam. It's like, well, then they get wiped out by the whole incidence of the color. And it's like, oh, I guess we can go ahead now. And they flood it with their dam. And they made a whole bunch of money.
It's not a hangout, let's watch, have fun, watch a movie kind of movie, but it's like a...
It's exactly what I was going to say. Like, this was like the you have to pay attention movie, and Solarbabies was like, put that on, and we're just going to like drink and eat pizza.
Yeah. It was like Jim Cotta.
Yeah.
It's like, Jim Cotta, what's happening? I don't know. But this is funny.
I forgot about Jim Cotta.
I didn't. I always think about the satellites. It's pretty good. They're both interesting movies. If you want to be confused, watch Solarbabies. And if you want to be confused in an interesting way, watch a Color Out of Space, because...
So, in the end, after this discussion, how many roller skates would you give Solarbaby out of however many roller skates?
Oh, okay. Well, I'm saying there's 5 total in my brain that I think that you could get. I want to give it 2 roller skates. Just 2.
Okay.
How about you?
All right. Yeah. I was going to give it 2. I'll give it 2.
Yeah.
I'll give it 2.5.
For Color Out of Space.
Alpacas?
Yeah, alpacas out of 5.
They are alpacas. Alpacas.
I'm going to give it 3 question marks out of 5 alpacas.
I give it 4 alpacas and a question mark.
Okay.
Yeah, I went that high with it.
Yeah, I mean, no, and the lack of alpacas doesn't mean I didn't like the movie. It's just I feel like we're measuring in alpacas while the universe is measuring in something else, and we're unaware of it.
Okay. So you're saying alpacas are the 3-dimensional representation of the 5th dimensional entity that is the Color Out of Space.
Yeah, and then the question mark's just like, you know what? Like, it was pretty good, but I don't have the tools to measure this movie.
Okay.
Because it's
so now you get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Well, those are interesting. And I'll put my new big green screen away.
Yeah. Congratulations on the green and blue screen.
Yeah. One side's blue, one side's green.
One size screen fits all.
I'm gonna go and race some alpacas and roller skate on the paved desert.
Yeah. I'm gonna watch alpacas fuse themselves together and shoot them in the head while they wobble around and scream.
Ew.
Their freaky little goat eyes.
Gross.
Whoa! All right.